All right, guys, well, I just pulled a major oops. Today is Thursday, October the 13th. We had a really good rainstorm come through last night, dumped a bunch of water, and I just assumed the deer is going to get up and move. This rain has got to get them moving. It's been so dry for the last couple of months. This is the first real rain that we've had. So I took off work, and I was planning on doing a hanging hunt, and I left my stand at the house. So looks like I'm going to be ground hunting, but luckily enough, I had a rain umbrella, one of these little tree umbrellas, in the floor of my truck. I always leave one in there just in case if it starts raining and I'm going out, I can always grab it and throw it up on the tree. But these actually make really good ground blinds if you're in a pinch. And if I'm going to bow hunt from the ground and I need to be able to draw my bow back without being seen, this is a critical component. I'm going to show you when I get set up. But I've hunted out here probably about 5 different days since the start of the season. And I saw 4 does come through one time. I had like a little 4-point come under my stand right at last light. Camera couldn't even pick it up. It was too dark. Had a coyote. Had a groundhog come in there one time. Scared the crap out of me. I thought it was a buck coming. It's a groundhog. You know how they do. Tons of squirrels. Bunches of turkeys. There's turkeys everywhere. And so I came out here and I scouted the last time before I left. And I found a persimmon tree that was just loaded. There wasn't really many on the ground. But I'm hoping that this little weather may have, this little rainstorm that came through may have knocked some of them out of the tree. So I'm going to get down here, scope it out, see if there's any sign around it. Everything's a little wet. The dirt's a little wet, so I've been looking for tracks. Haven't seen any yet. So, man, the wind's out of the north-northwest, so I'm just going to walk north-northwest until I find something that looks good, and I'm going to sit down and face away from the way that I walked in. Real easy. Look at all the persimmons. This tree is loaded. That persimmon tree is right over there about 20 yards. Maybe 25. I'll put a rangefinder on it here in a minute. I'm going to have a little bit of brush to contend with, but most of it is up close. So I should be able to shoot around it or through it just fine. Alright, well, let me show you what I'm going to do with this. Most of you guys are probably already using these for this, but I'm going to show you anyways. I'm going to take this. And I want to set it up like that, and I want to try and position it. I'm going to use this and stab this in the ground to where it'll hold it down where it won't move. Alright, guys. I've got my screen up, and it's just, I've got a lot of cover right here as it is, but I want to be able to pull my bow back without them seeing me as I'm drawing. All right, guys. Well, that was a pretty intense hunt. I set up a little bit too close and too tight of quarters to where the deer were right on top of me, and you couldn't hear them coming because the leaves are all wet. So by the time I saw it, the deer was already 20 yards and staring at me. And I don't think that it saw like me because it came out perfect with that blind where the blind was in between me and the deer. But what happened was the sun hit a perfect little hole in the trees where it was coming right down to me. And that nylon or whatever that little umbrella's made out of was just, it glares in the sun. And so does my cameras. I had two cameras and that glass on them glares too. So I don't know if it saw the glare or what, but it was a little spooky. And the one deer just creeped around. I didn't know. I thought it was by itself, and there was about four or more. That's all I could see. One of them crept around to the side and was like 15 yards to my right, and I just turned over and looked, and she's like coming right at me and just bolted like she saw me. And the other one just hung out. So that tells you the power of a persimmon tree that's dropping when there's not very many of them. I always hunt those things early in the year if they've got a lot of persimmons on them like this one did. Those deer would not leave. They didn't leave until I couldn't even shoot anymore. They just sat out there. They stayed within 100 yards the whole time. And I can hear them walking out in the woods every now and again. And then they started blowing, and they blew for 30, 45 minutes, just blowing. They move over here and they blow. They move over here and blow. They never could smell me. They were always upwind. So I don't know if they're spooked or not, but I'm probably going to come back and try it maybe tomorrow. If not, maybe Saturday. But hopefully I'll connect on one of those. It was a pile of deer. I don't know how many it was, but at least I found a good chunk of this property out here that's got deer. So hopefully they stay consistent. I think as long as that persimmon tree is dropping, they'll make a frequent stop there at least once, twice a day. So I'm going to try my best to get out of work early tomorrow and come back out here and let's see how it goes. I'll see you back in the tree when I can get in it. Coyotes have a way of messing up your deer hunt. He just ran through everything right there upwind of me. Almost got a shot at 20 yards and he saw me. I couldn't shoot through all these limbs right here. Now he's got all the squirrels in the woods going crazy. He's probably gonna scare all my deer off too. Maybe not.